It's 9 o'clock. Tuesday, May 14, 2024. This is the Iroquois County Board. Clerk call the roll, please.
Alt. Barron. Pence. Bowers. Crow. Ducat. Geiger. Hughes. McGinnis. McTaggart. Schur.
Yes.
Watts. Whitlow. Williams. Zumwalt.
Okay. This morning, Board Member Chad McGinnis is going to lead us in our prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity to serve the residents of Iroquois County. We ask for your wisdom, for your guidance to help us make the best decision with the resources that we have. And we ask for your continued blessing upon this county and this state. And we ask for your hand of protection upon all of us that are here today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone should have a copy of today's agenda and power. We have a motion to approve that. Second by Mr. Williams. Are there any questions or comments regarding the agenda? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Everyone should receive a copy of the minutes from the April 9th, 2024 session. We have a motion to approve those minutes. We have a second. Mr. Whitlow, are there any questions or comments regarding those minutes? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is the payroll. Motion to approve the payroll. Mr. Hughes. Second by Mr. Williams. Any questions or comments regarding the payroll? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Barron.
Yes.
Pence.
Yes.
Crow. Yes. Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Schur.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes. Okay, public comments. Is there any public comments?
Right here. This my turn? Okay. My name's Evan Lerman. I work
Podium, please.
Podium. No, this is my graduation. Evan, I work at Iroquois Memorial Hospital. I'm the social worker / psychotherapist. I learned that many of the people here have the insurance that I'm covered by, and I'm also covered by 40 other plans. I hope that insurance is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, because that's what I was told. I brought cards. If anybody needs psychotherapy, we were requested by the doctors to do this. I can see people in as soon as a week until we build up. But services are available quickly. If anybody has any questions for me, I'll leave cards up here. Unfortunately, I didn't know how many people were going to be here. I only brought a dozen. If anybody has any questions, the specialty clinic where I'm at is 815-432-7722. If you have any questions about seeing me or want to make an appointment or see if you're covered by insurance, that's the number to call. And I'll leave the rest of the cards up here for anyone who wants to grab one. Any questions?
Questions? Any other public?
Hey, good morning. This is Trevor Froling from Cissna Park. So I'm here to comment on, I work with Common Ground. We are a cash rent auction company. I've handed out one-pagers that kind of break down what we do, but essentially what we would like to do is work with the Iroquois County Park Ground to assist with getting out the marketing, get the word out to farmers who would like to put in bids to farm it for the 25 and 27 crop years. We know the bids are coming up this summer, and we're very interested in helping, and we do it for free to landowners. So it'd be completely free marketing, and we market out to 2-3 different counties that are bordering to Iroquois County. And we would love to take questions or talk to anybody that'd be interested in discussing how essentially it would work. But I'll come back probably after the meeting's over, and I can take questions, or I can take some now if anyone has a question on how it works. Yeah, thank you.
Any other public comments this morning?
Yes, I'll be really quick, I promise. I gave everyone one of these flyers. This is a free program. If you know of anyone going to any of these museums in Chicago, or like the Brookfield Zoo, the Planetarium, Shedd Aquarium, we do give 4 free tickets for those that want to go to each family that requests them. I put my email address on here where they can email me or they can give me a call. This is a year-round program, so anyone in our district is welcome to take advantage of this. So if you know of anyone going, it'll save them quite a bit of money. I think just Shedd Aquarium is like $40 a ticket. So if you know of anyone going, send them my way, please. Yes.
Are your tickets good for a specific day? Or
Yes.
the whole year?
Nope, it's a specific day. So when I write the authorization letter, if you could tell me what day you're going, I'll do that letter for that specific day, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Any other public comments?
Hey guys, I'm Derek Cross, Cross K9. It's May is Police Force Month, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month for males. So what I'll be doing all through the summer is if you're a first responder, that's ICOM, that's anybody, jailer, EMT, police officer, all of their lessons will be first sections all 10% off, all the way through September. I'm trying to do that for us as to get you guys in. You guys are busy. A lot of the EMTs, they have crazy hours and swing shifts. It's very hard for me to get them flexible schedules. I want to make sure that those people's dogs are safe too. So I'm going to do that all through summer, all the way to September. Thank you.
Any other public comments this morning? Now I'm gonna forego chairman comments, and we have a rather lengthy agenda. We'll move on to outside organization reports.
Fantastic programs, Eric, that's awesome that you're doing that. And Kyra, I love the tickets, that really does save a lot of money. And so spread that around to all the families out there because it's a great program. Good morning, Chairman, members of the Iroquois County Board, and guests. I'm Angel Crawford, the Executive Director of the Iroquois Economic Development Association, and here's the item news for May. To help promote family fun events in Iroquois County, our association works together with the Illinois Office of Tourism for events to be advertised on the Enjoy Illinois website. So far, we have the following events for submission: the 2024 60th Annual Iroquois County 4-H Fair, Watseka Family Festival, and Artesia Brewing's Oktoberfest celebration, which actually will be in September. If you have large events planned in Iroquois County for this year, please let us know. And right before I left my office, actually, Old Settlers might be coming up too. I'll nail that down after this meeting. Here's news about area businesses in Iroquois County. In Watseka, after months of anticipation, and I know everybody's been asking, Geraldo and Elizabeth DeLon and their son, Geraldo Jr., have opened the Trios Steakhouse in Watseka right off of Route 24. Everyone has been raving about their juicy steaks, delicate prime ribs, tasty ribs, stuffed tilapia, mouth-watering hamburgers, and don't forget their famous margaritas. I spoke with Geraldo's daughter, Almendra, and she said they are planning a grand opening, so like them on Facebook today and look for more information coming soon. Their hours are Monday through Thursday, 3:30 in the afternoon to 9 p.m., Monday through Saturday, 3:30 to 10, and Sunday, 11 to 8. Be sure to make your reservations today. In Watsika, John Mann and Sonia Bradley, owners of the Silo Pub and Eatery next to the post office, recently opened the Homestead venue. This venue seats a maximum of 198 people. Catering is allowed for events. Beverages can be provided by the adjoining Silo Pub and Eatery. And they are currently taking reservations for private parties, graduations, birthdays, weddings, and all private parties. Reservations are filling fast, so book your event today by calling Sonia at 815-450-1461. In Vilnius, Kyle and Grace Balthazar recently opened the B&M Snack Shack food truck. They named their business after their children, Barrett and Marin, for their love of snacks. Their food truck features mini donuts, soft serve ice cream, and lemon shake-ups. They are scheduling events for the summer and fall right now. Connect with them on Facebook, or you can call directly at 815-217-9665. In Wellington, this is really good. Bruce and Annette Lockhart, owners of Lockhart Angus, a family-owned and operated farm that is registered Angus beef since 1941, recently announced that they will be selling their prime Angus beef to the North Pond restaurant in Chicago. And I have a feeling we might be seeing more of this with our local producers being able to reach out and sell their products other places. I just got off the phone with Bruce. He's excited about, he did not know about our organization. And I said, we are here to help. He's already talking about some of the grocery initiatives that are coming out. So stay tuned, there's gonna be more coming. They have a country store that sells premium Angus beef steaks, roast briskets, hamburgers, including jalapeno cheddar patties, beef snack sticks, and even bacon, beef bacon, which I've never had that before, but sounds good. Stop by their store at 212 North 2500 East Road in Wellington, or order online, or call 217-304-1771. Get all your summer grilling needs today. And speaking of grilling, here we go. Today in Watsika, after you get done with this meeting, you can actually right at 10, the Watsika Area Chamber of Commerce will be presenting a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new Compass Insurance office at 10 a.m. Compass recently moved from into the former Commonwealth Credit Union buildings on Cherry Street, and will be giving away a brand new 36-inch Blackstone grill and a $50 gift card to Berry's Processing. Their open house is until 1 p.m. today, so stop by, say hi, and don't miss this sizzling opportunity to win big. If you know a business that is opening up in Iroquois County, an event happening in your town that you would like to promote and would like to sign up for our notifications, please call our office at 815-432-0072. Also, very important, follow our Facebook and Instagram pages to see all the exciting happenings in Iroquois County. Does anyone have any questions? No? All right, thank you very much.
Any other outside organization reports this morning? Now we'll move on to the committee report, policy and procedure. We can have a wait a minute.
Morning, everybody. Mr. Chairman and members of the county board and committee to whom the referred policy and procedure obeying to lead the following report from matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on May 2nd, 2024 at 9 a.m. Members present were County Board Chairman Ben Scher, Paul Ducat, Lyle Behrens, Charlie Law, and Judge Whitlow. Michael McTaggart was absent. Also present, Finance Manager Jill Johnston, County Clerk Leah Suver, Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines, ICPHD Administrator Eric Cece, EMA Director Scott Anderson, and County Board members Doug Geiger and Scott Watts. The member was called to order.
The meeting is called to order. It was moved by Paul Duquette and seconded by Jim Whitlow to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. EMA Director Scott Harrison distributed his monthly report to the committee. There were no incidents to report for April. The second hazard mitigation plan meeting was held April 25th. An additional 11 new jurisdictions/technical partners were added to the planning process. The next meeting is scheduled for August 15th. Anderson continues to focus many hours reviewing and updating the Iroquois County Emergency Operations Plan. Anderson is preparing to submit an updated EOP to the Policy and Procedures Committee by next month and to be reviewed by a full county board to complete the final adoption process. Anderson received certificates of the following and noted since assuming this position August 1st, he has completed more than 200 hours of training. This training was the final class needing completion to receive his professional development series certificate from IEMA and was a condition of his employment to receive the certificate within 2 years of employment. Leadership in today's world. Anderson is working with the county-specific ILCA, TT, and IPP, designing an ongoing training program and holding training sessions is a state requirement. Anderson is also planning training sessions on active shooter, hazardous chemical exposure, and cybersecurity attacks. The local emergency planning committee met on April 10th. Copies of bylaws were distributed to all members and reviewed for approval. Official adoption of the bylaws will take place at the May 8th meeting. Anderson attended the Mavis meeting on April 25th and gave a presentation on the purpose of EMA and responsibilities and duties of the agency. Anderson also attended the Iroquois County Amateur Radio Club meeting on April 18th. Anderson continues to encourage all county board members to follow through with his request to complete the NIMS independent study courses and submit certificates to him. He will send another email that includes all the necessary links to register, take the courses, or retrieve already earned certificates. The EMA volunteer meeting was held April 17th. Anderson shared the PowerPoint presentation created for the Mavis meeting. Anderson is currently working with a representative from IEMA who specializes in the recovery phase of a disaster. Anderson will be coordinating an upcoming training session for the EMA volunteers and will also work with the assessment office to provide them with the opportunity to attend the training. As we are actively within the severe storm and tornado season, Anderson continues to share informational graphics on the EMA Facebook page. The committee chairs gave their monthly reports. Management Chairman Lyle Barron reported the committee will be receiving an update on the Grant Street Drainage Project, morgue and animal control building. Judicial Chairman Judge Whitlow reported the committee will receive their monthly reports. Also, Sheriff Leprosy is diligently working with the STARCOM on the new radios and continues to seek grant funding. Highway Chairman Charlie All reported the committee will receive their monthly reports. The Finance Committee will receive their monthly reports. There were no updates on paid leave for all workers act. Finance Manager Jill Johnson stated a decision was released on April 30th. Johnson has emailed State's Attorney Jim Devine for an update. The committee discussed salaries for the circuit clerk and coroner. Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines noted there is a possibility of the circuit clerk's salaries being increased to a certain percentage of the circuit clerk or the circuit judge's salary. If this happens, the county is responsible for 33 1/3 of the salary. Hines expects to hear a decision this month. Hines also stated she took a salary freeze for 2.5 years and has been with the county since 2008. Hines requested a 5% increase for the first year and a 4% increase for the 3 years following. County Board Chairman John Scher said longevity hasn't been considered when setting salaries for elected officials. The treasurer was hired at a lower salary with the intent to increase the salary to match the county clerk and the circuit clerk. Scher also added the chief deputies would have a salary close to the elected officials as they are expected to run their respective offices in the absence of an elected official. It was moved by Burns and Ezekiel Whitlow to increase the circuit clerk's salary by 5% in year 1 and 4% for the following 3 years. The coroner's salary will increase by 4% each year for 4 years. The roll call vote was taken. Duquette, aye. Burns, aye. All aye. Whitlow, aye. Scher, nay. Motion carried. It was moved by Barron, second by Duquette to enter executive session at 9:32 a.m. under 5 ILCS 120-2/2/C1. The employment, compensation, and discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee of the public body. Motion carried by a voice vote. It was moved by Barron, second by Whitlow, to come out of executive session at 10 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. The committee continued review of the county code book as follows. Chapter 12, communications will be reviewed by ETS Director Eric Freeman and the ETS Board. Chapter 14, course will be reviewed by the Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines. Chapter 16, environment, section 16-21B. G, wording from the county board chairperson shall be the sixth member of the committee to fifth member of the committee. Section 16-22(1), change minimum of 30 copies to 10 copies and 1 electronic copy. Section 16-22(2), remove the sentence, if the costs of the county are less than the amount paid in the form of a deposit, the excess shall be refunded to the applicant. Also including a $10,000 fine in this section. Appointments may be made in the county board meeting. Correspondence was distributed to the committee. Chair received a letter and a book to review that is intended to educate children in the schools about county board functions. The appropriate cost is $5 per book plus shipping and handling. It was suggested that Chair contact Regional Superintendent of Schools, Frank Kikinas. Is that right? Thank you. Of distributing the books within the school district. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Whitlow and seconded by Duquette to pay the claims, subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Barron to enter into executive session at 10:56 a.m. under 5 ILCS 120/2/C1. Employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. Motion carried by a voice vote. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Barron to come out of executive session at 11:02 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. There was no old business, there was no new business, there was no further business coming from the committee. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Whitlow to adjourn at 11:04 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. Officers represented.
Motion on the floor to approve the report of the policy and procedure committee. Are there any questions or comments? Mr. Watts?
I'm not sure what the appropriate parliamentary move or motion might be, but I would ask that the board take the permit concerning the salaries for circuit clerk and coroner and separate that item out with separate full board discussions.
On the paragraph on page 2 that you're referring to.
Yes, the paragraph that begins with at the bottom, maybe discuss salaries for certain clerk and coroner. And I've asked that with separate consideration.
Is there a second to that motion? No. Voting on taking out, separating that paragraph out.
Okay, Benz?
Yes.
Crowe?
Yes.
Duquette?
No.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes? McGinnis?
No.
Sure? Watts?
Yes.
Whitlow?
No.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt? Alt? You said no. Thank you. Barron's?
Yes.
Motion carried 9-4.
Okay, separated it out, Mr. Watts?
So, we have the policy procedure committee, committee approved 5% for the circuit clerk position, 5%, 4%, 4%, 4% for 4 years. For the coroner, 4% each year for 4 years. And what I would propose is a slight change from that. It's not a radical departure from what the committee approved. But what I would propose for the circuit clerk would be 4% the first year, 3.75 the second year, 3.5 the third year, and 3.25 raise for the fourth and final year. And those same percentages would be applied to quarter. And the rationale for this would be, it resembles, it does not mirror recent collective bargaining agreements, but it does resemble raises that have been negotiated by the negotiating committee and by this board in the past. And like was mentioned in the minutes, this would be a moot point if the state legislature decides to make this decision for us. But until such time, this is the approach that I thought Juan and our so that
So your motion is
I would move
4%.
I don't know this discussion, but what I believe is the appropriate time would be 4%, 2.75, 3.5, 3.25. And I realize that collective bargaining agreements are different. Unionized employees have different situations than elected officials. But those percentages that I just spoke about also take that into account. They're not what the Policy and Procedure Committee approved. But since these are working this morning, just consider it separately, that's what I put forward.
And that is a form of a motion.
Yes.
Is there a second? I'd like to second the motion. Is there any questions or further discussion? Mr. Williams?
I know there's some various surveys of salaries and whether the clerk of the circuit court is above or below the average currently. It to me doesn't seem like it's a little low right now, but that's just my personal observation.
Any other questions or comments?
My question is, if you find out from Jill, what is her salary going to be to come close to the other management? Can we find that out, Jill? I'm sorry for putting this on.
Okay.
If it's going to be 4, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, at least you know.
Should be higher. Should be higher.
Sorry.
Well, they catch your eye.
Higher than the treasurer and the county clerk. I think that according to this, I think you said 104% is coming in, correct?
Right.
The circuit clerk would be at $70,252, and the treasurer would be at $69,100. The county clerk would be at $69,400.
So that will catch her.
Catch her up, and then moving forward, the position will be still ahead of the other two, depending on what happens in 2 years when their wages are looked at.
I just want to make sure that she's up there with the other management. And I understand your point, Scott, but she is management, not, it's not like we're going into another union negotiations and then deal with that against us.
2026, the circuit clerk would be at $72,886, while the treasurer and the county clerk would be at $71,300. So that's the $1,500.
As long as it's a little higher, that's my main concern.
What were the proposed percentages?
4%, 3.75, 3.75.
No, 3.5 and then 3.25.
Okay, that's what I thought, okay.
Would you please say it again, Scott? I'm sorry.
3.75, 3.5, 0.25.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I really stand.
I
I had advantage of the all fixed up, so then I wanted
I'm
to
sorry.
verify.
No, you're fine.
Just verification, that's all.
Are we just speaking about the circuit clerk's salary, not the others?
We're speaking about the circuit clerk salary and the coroner salary.
Was your motion for both or just?
Yes.
Record the coroner's increase would be 4% in the first year, 3.75 the following year, then 3.5, and then 3.25 in the last year.
Is there any further discussion that anyone has, want to contribute? Mr. Barron?
The reason we went with what we did was it took into effect for experience and the fact that we need to pay these people enough to keep them here, give them an incentive to be here, show them the respect that they deserve. We have a hard time keeping employees if we don't treat our management with the respect, then it's not going to be a good place to work, which is going to make it even harder to keep good employees. You know, we need to, pay isn't always about money, it's also about respect. And if you start nickel and diming, then that's not showing you the respect.
Geiger?
I would point out though that when you just gave the manager a 5% raise, but you gave the employees less than that raise, how does that appear to the rank and file?
Yeah. Managers have a lot. People will say how it's terrible that corporation heads get millions and millions of dollars while the rank and file gets whatever wage they get. Well, not everyone of that rank and file can run that business or that department. So that's why you pay the people that are in charge, but they, yeah, there's a lot more responsibility, you know. The manager is not just the person that shows up from 9 to 5. They're putting in longer hours and everything else, and a lot of times not getting any compensation for that. And that's not just her, that's all the managers. If you actually talk to them, they're not here just during regular business hours a lot of times. They're doing work beyond that, when everybody else is going home. And they're not compensated.
I think one point that may be being overlooked here also is that in the 13 years that I've been associated with this board, traditionally, salaries have found a common ground in that the salaries for the circuit clerk, the county clerk, and the treasurer have always been pretty much the same. I don't know that that means that it has to be that way, but that's the way it has been in the past. I also think that it's important to know for those of you who have not served on the negotiations committee with the unions, these are matters that are brought up in those negotiations. And union representatives do pay pretty close attention to what everyone's salary is here in the county. And if they see somebody getting a raise of a certain amount, they want the same. These things need to be noted by everybody and kept in mind when considering the matter. Are there any other further questions or comments? None, the motion is to Award compensation at 4% the first year, 3 3/4 the second, 3 1/2 the third, and 3 1/4 the third. Call the roll, please.
Okay, Crowe,
Yes.
Ducat,
No.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes.
No.
McGinnis.
No.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
No.
Williams,
No.
Zumwalt. Alt.
No.
Barons,
No.
and Benz.
No.
Motion failed 4-9.
Okay, that leaves us with no salaries for the clerk and the.
Wouldn't it just go back to what we had?
Goes back to the original.
Separated still.
They're not completed.
My motion to reinstate the original agreement, the policy procedure presented to the board.
McGinnis is making motion to reinstate. Proposed by the policy procedure committee. Are you seconding that?
Yeah.
Everybody understand the motion? Any disagreement? Call the roll, please.
Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
No.
Hughes,
Yes.
McGinnis. Sure,
No.
Watts,
No.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
and Benz.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Crowe.
No.
Motion carried 9-4.
Okay, that takes care of that. We'll move along to number 2 on the agenda on the policy and procedure committee, that is discussion and action on the resolution setting the salary of the Iroquois County Coroner.
Did we vote on the whole?
You haven't voted on the full report yet, no.
No.
Getting ahead of myself here. There's no further questions or comments regarding the main part of the report. Call the roll.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yeah.
McGinnis. Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Benz,
Yes.
Crowe,
Yes.
and Ducat.
Yes.
Now, number 2 is discussion and action on resolution setting the salary of the Iroquois County Coroner. We have a motion to adopt the resolution. We have a second. Second. No, I'm sorry, on the next one I got. That. Are there any questions or comments on the motion?
What are we voting on?
We've established what the salaries are gonna be, now we're voting on adopting the resolution for firm notes. No further questions or comments, okay, call the roll.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yep.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
No.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Barons.
Yeah.
Benz,
Yes.
Crowe. No. Ducat. Geiger.
Yes.
Okay, next is a discussion and action on adopting a resolution to setting the salary of the Iroquois County Circuit Clerk. essentially the same as what we just did. We have a motion to do that. Mr. Barron, seconded by Mr. Whitlow. Any questions or comments? None, the clerk will call the roll.
McGinnis.
Yep.
Sherwood.
Yep.
Watts.
No.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Crowe. Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Okay, now we'll move along to number 4, which is the minutes from the Policy and Procedure Committee meeting on May 9th.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, committing to reform policy and procedure, we beg to submit the following report and that is before them. Committee met in this person on May 9th, 2024 at 10:36 a.m. Members present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Paul Duquette, Lyle Behrens, Charlie Alt, Michael Latager, and Jeff Whitlow were absent. Also present, County Clerk Rand Suber, County Engineer Greg Perkinson, Alan Harwood, and County Board members Donna Crowe and Scott Watts. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Behrens to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Behrens to enter into executive session at 10:38 a.m. under 5 ILCS 120/2/C1. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. Motion carried by a voice vote. It was moved by Behrens and seconded by Duquette to come out of executive session at 11:42 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Behrens to hire Alan Harwood as the county engineer effective July 15, 2024, at a starting salary of $136,000 with an increase to $140,000 on January 1st, 2025. Mr. Harwood has authorization to take the county highway vehicle home and has agreed to move to Iroquois County within 6 years. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Duquette, seconded by Behrens to adjourn at 11:46 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All was respectfully submitted and accepted adopted.
Motion on the floor to approve the committee report on May 9th, seconded by Mr. Williams. Any questions or comments? Well, I don't disagree with the I thought that was still an order. About that, I'm saying, I'll get back to you. I might have to study this. I have any things that I want to change. Just discuss it with you. I didn't do that. Maybe I'm the only one who heard it.
I was wondering about that too.
I think we're still okay to go ahead with this. It's
Right,
just-
it's an offer.
Right,
The offer is
correct.
declined, then it's declined, so that's the offer on the table.
It's an offer on the table. The intent is that if we approve this today, a letter will be drafted outlining all of these terms and agreements. I will sign the letter, and the letter will be sent to Mr. Howard for him to sign. I read this as it's done deal. I don't think it is.
Well, it won't be a done deal till everybody signs it. But we have to approve the offer, or what we're doing is approving the offer for him to accept.
I read it that it's done deal.
Yeah, that he's going through the 15.
I just stated that if we approve this today, a letter will be drafted outlining all these agreements. I will sign a letter and send it to Mr. Howard for him to sign. Well, I don't want everybody to go out of this room thinking it's a done deal. Sign it. So what, because he's never agreed to it. My understanding that he's never agreed to it.
Well, the point is, if there is an
Doesn't
affirmative,
matter whether he did or he didn't, he's gonna have to sign the letter. He doesn't have to sign it.
Well, if he,
If he doesn't sign the letter, then there's no agreement. That's what I'm saying. Sounds like it's done deal. I don't think he said it was a done deal.
Okay, so Right, so the way the resolution reads it is appointing him. Greg, I need to defer to you. This doesn't get submitted until Alan accepts, right?
I'm a little confused now. I thought it was.
Well, I kind of left the room thinking it was too, but, anyway, we have to approve this resolution today, though, in order to make sure that the salary is set by this start date, correct?
Yeah, so that resolution sets his salary for 6 years, right?
Right,
And it basically approves his appointment for a 6-year term.
right, but we won't submit this until he agrees to it, but we need to have the ball in place or on the court.
There's no requirement on that form for Alan to sign it. The only thing you have hanging out there is the sign agreement for the,
Right, but the board has to approve this to set a salary,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So,
But that salary, if he doesn't accept that salary, would just be approved to the following person, whoever we get.
right, but I mean, we would have to pass a new resolution because this is appointing Alan at this set salary. But it's not going to be submitted until he accepts. But as far as the timeline, we need to pass it so the salary's set, so he knows he comes in at this salary.
Which he did agree to.
I thought so too.
I still want to take it.
I'd like to clarify,
I know.
in the event that our offer to Mr. Harwood is declined, then that resolution binds us to pay that sum to any other applicant that would
No, because this resolution is for Alan
specifically
Harwood.
for him, right? Because
Yes.
I would want to be able to negotiate, have that option.
And this won't get submitted to the state until we have an agreement with Alan.
So that's just specific to his.
Yeah, you should have it in your packet, but his name is on there stating that you are appointing Alan Harwood at that salary.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that with the state, we weren't bound to pay any engineer that sum, that would take.
Correct, because we are not submitting this to the state until Alan accepts the offer.
Chairman, you just mentioned that the salary was set for 6 years, but on the resolution, it's only for the first two.
The salary that's on the resolution is correct.
If
Pertain to the salary itself, then? About the other issue
It appoints them and sets the salary.
all of those things will be included in the letter that will be sent to him today.
Are you asking Scott about the next 5 years after the first?
It was just mentioned in discussion that the salary was being set for 6 years, and I just wanted to point out that it really isn't. That's all.
John, do you want to go into, it should be noted that salaries for these county engineers are partially set by the state Department of Transportation or the Secretary of Transportation, whatever.
I'm sorry, but I don't see where you say that, you're saying that the salary was going to be for 6 years. I'm sorry.
But it was mentioned in the conversation. In the discussion here this morning, it was mentioned that it was being set for 6 years. It was mentioned that the salary was being set for 6 years, and I'm just pointing out that it says to be determined, that's fine.
Last 4 years.
Resolution that goes to the state is an area there with salary for 6 years.
Resolution.
Be required. They're allowed to put the salary down for each of those 6 years if you choose. On the other hand, you're also allowed to put down exactly what is on there, the salary that's agreeing, offering. So, the end of this year, and then for the following year. Beyond that, the salary is to be determined.
That's fine.
That's acceptable to the state and that's acceptable to us.
Just me as well. You just mentioned that you did set for 6 years. That's
No,
what
we're not doing that. Right now, we're trying to vote on the report. After the report is voted on, we'll vote on the resolution. So,
I believe that perhaps what Mr. Watts is asking about is that every year in December, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, we do a resolution to set the engineer's salary. And for those of us, those who are not on the committee, we're required to offer 90% of an amount set by the state, and the county pays half and the state pays half. So in those years, then that's when we will determine future salaries.
what you said is not correct, Mr.
Okay, I said, if you need to correct me, that's what I thought we talked about.
In order for us to receive the reimbursement from the state of half of his salary, we have to pay at least 90% of the state recommended amount.
That's what I just said, John.
No, you didn't.
I didn't? Well, that's what I meant.
I'm just trying to clarify. We can pay more than the state recommended amount, we can pay less than the state recommended amount. In order to get state reimbursement, we have to pay at least 90% of the state recommended amount.
That's my understanding, and that's.
We're offering Mr. Harwood more than the state recommended amount. We'll still be eligible to get 50% reimbursement. Okay, we have a motion in a second to approve the report. Any other questions regarding the report? Now we can call the roll.
Sure.
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Alt? Behrens?
Yes.
Benz?
Yes.
Crow? Yes. Ducat?
Yes.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Okay, next one, we have a discussion and action on the resolution setting the salary for the highway engineer. There seems to be some concern about whether or not Mr. Harwood has agreed to these things. We can certainly entertain a motion to adopt the resolution for these agreements. Hello?
Move to adopt a resolution approving Mr. Harwood's employment in the terms laid out in the minutes pending his acceptance of the position.
Second, Mr. Vedder. Any further questions or comments on the motion? Call the roll.
Watts?
Yes.
Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Alt?
Yes.
Behrens?
Yes.
Benz?
Yes.
Crow?
Yes.
Ducat?
Yes.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes?
Yes.
McGinnis? And Sure.
Yes. Okay, that takes care of the policy and procedure committee. Move on to the management services committee, Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, it's being agreed with the Department of Services to pay the Smith Fall report on business matters.
Can you talk louder, please? Air conditioning on.
Your committee met at the Administrative Center on May 6, 2024 at 9 a.m. The first president of Barron, Bowers, Benz, Crowe, and Zubor. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Maintenance Supervisor Chris Drake, Lauren Groster with the City of Watsika, Rocky Barr, and County Board members Charlie Hall, Paul Duca, Bev Geiger, and Scott Watts. The meeting was called to order. It's moved by Bowers, second by Crowe to amend the agenda Go for bids after public comment. Motion carried by voice vote. There were no public comments. Warren, Ross, Rossner, Grove, okay, that's fine. With the city of Watsika provided a presentation regarding the Grand Street Drainage Project. The presentation was also given at the last city hall meeting. Pictures of flooding in the Loveridge Lane subdivision were shown, as well as a video of water flowing through yards. He said the area drained properly up until 4 to 5 years ago, and the water is much more than just puddling in the yards. Standing water for a long period of time results in a heavy mosquito and insect presence. The area is not located in a land, it's also not floodplain for Robinson Engineering. He explained it makes sense for the city of Watsika and Iroquois County to work together on the project. Bids were received for the project totaling approximately $50,000 and included 6 inlets. However, an additional 4 inlets are needed. The cost of the project would be split 50-50 between the city of Watsika and Iroquois County. The city of Watsika will handle the landscaping and seeding. Chairman Barron's recommended an intergovernmental agreement be drawn up by State's Attorney Jim Devine for future maintenance. The committee reviewed the bid opened in March. Finance Manager Jill Johnson discussed possible funding options. Capital Improvement Fund has a balance of $264,000. The County Farm Fund has a balance of $104,000. The ARPA Fund has a balance of $190,000. The Tribal Fund has less than $10,000 remaining. The committee agreed the project should be funded through the Capital Improvement Fund. It was moved by Google, seconded by Bowers to accept the drainage LLC bid for 12-inch tile with filter and 6-inch catch basins at a cost of $46,223. It includes costs for 4 additional inlet catch basins not to exceed $35,000. We paid from the capital improvement fund. Roll call votes taken, motion carried. It is moved by Dumont, second by Mitchell-Benz. Enter into a partnership with the city of Watsika, and each party pays half the cost of the 12-inch tile pending approval of an intergovernmental agreement. Roll call votes taken, motion carried. Vacancies as anticipated result included the following. Deputy Cruz project is complete, and the half-door project in the assessment office begins this week. All buildings have been switched cooling. Small wiring issue was reported for the new heat pump in the workforce development office. 2 infrared cameras were installed at the jail by BT Video. Otis Elevator performed an inspection on the elevator at the courthouse on April 28th. Drake performed a full filter swap at the administrative center. Drake will be requesting quote for a rubber stove to be placed at the administrative center. Drake confirmed that students from the Darga Academy assisted with landscaping cleanup. Discussion was held on the animal control building board. The board project is moving along. We are waiting for the building permit and anticipate breaking ground later this month. It is undetermined when the animal control building will begin. The committee reviewed a letter received from Grosston Appraisal Service, KC, in regard to the upcoming road project on Martin Avenue. The county farm property is anticipated for a proposal survey, and county board members have been invited to accompany Burlington Appraisal Services while they explore the property. County Board Chairman John Schuler added a retention pond will have to be put in. Schuler suggested using the old airfield for the retention pond. County farm lease will be put out for bid in July and open in August. Soil testing bids will be put out at the same time. John Dumont recommended including FSA maps with the county farm bid packets. We also discussed new ways of advertising, such as issuing a press release to the local radio stations. County's Facebook page is still a work in progress. Dumont will also speak with the FSA office and Farm Bureau about them sending emails to potential bidders. The committee discussed the FSA lease that is expiring in September. The last three stated some of the increases were 22%, which increased the cost per square foot from $9 to $11 over the last 10 years. There was an estimated 15% increase in costs for the services and utilities. Their current rent is $5,769.27 per month. We agreed to begin negotiations with 25% increase for a 10-year lease. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Google, second by Ben, to pay claims such as county water fuel, bill by business taken, motion carried. There was no old business, there was no new business, as there was no further business coming before the committee. It was moved by Benson, second by Bauer, to adjourn to 10:18 a.m. Motion carried, all of which is respectfully submitted and moved for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the report of the management committee. Is there a second? Are there any questions or comments about the report? I think there's an error in the bottom of page 1, where it talks about motion made by Mr. Zumwalt to accept land restrainers into 12-inch tile. The cost of $46,223 is correct, but including costs for 4 additional inlets, not to exceed $35,000 is not correct. I believe Mr. Zumwalt intended that the county's portion of the entire project would not exceed $35,000. Correct, Mr. Zumwalt?
Yes.
So I think there needs to be a correction on that part there. I think those additional inlet basins was at $1,000 each.
Yes.
So we were roughly, in estimating the total cost of the project, we were roughly estimating it at $70,000.
Right.
Excuse me, $67,000. The city is paying half, and we're paying half. Half is $33,500.
Right.
We'll talk about it more in a minute with the intergovernmental agreement, but
Okay, so can I make sure what the minutes should say? So, well, I'm just going to ask if this will work as your motion.
Yes.
Okay, so if I did the whole thing, to accept Henrich Drainage 2 LLC bid for 12-inch tile with filter and six inlet catch basins at a cost of $46,223 and include costs for 4 additional inlet catch basins at $1,000 each.
Right.
With the county's portion not to exceed $35,000 to be paid from capital improvement fund. Is that it? No? Doug's saying no. That's not what your motion is?
Well.
That's what it sounded like, John.
The whole project, you don't wanna pay more than $35,000.
Right, the county's portion, $35,000 is what that motion
the
is at.
county's portion of the entire project.
Right.
Do we want to read that again? Make sure it's right.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Okay, so minutes will read, to accept Henrich Drainage 2 LLC bid for 12-inch tile with filter and 6 inlet catch basins at a cost of $46,223 and include costs for 4 additional inlet catch basins at $1,000 each, with the county's portion of the entire project not to exceed $35,000 to be paid from the capital improvement fund.
Yes.
Right. That's what we will change those minutes to.
Are there any other questions or comments or changes in the minutes? No, I guess you can.
Okay, so we have Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Bentz.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, number 2, under Management Services Committee, discussion and action. Intergovernmental agreement with the city of Watsika on the Grand Street thing. Everyone should have a copy before you on the intergovernmental agreement. Is there anybody that does not have a copy that would like one? Yes.
Motion to accept.
Second by Mr. Williams. Any questions or comments on the agreement? The agreement pretty well spells out what we just discussed in the report. Mr. Cole?
As an aside, is this before Watsika's council, and have they voted yet?
It's my understanding they have voted to approve it, but this agreement has a place for the mayor to sign as well as myself.
That's why I'm asking.
So that's, once we approve it and I sign it, a copy will be sent to the mayor for him to sign. He signs this, and a copy will be recorded in the county clerk's office. Are there any other questions on the motion to approve the resolution? Being done, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Spence.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Ducat. Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we'll move on to the ARPA committee, Mr. Ducat.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee to whom was referred ARPA would beg to resubmit the following report before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on May 6, 2024 at 10:21 a.m. Members present, Paul Duquette, Charlie L., Donna Crowe, and John Scher. Also present, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, and County Board members Doug Geiger and Scott Watts. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by John Scher and seconded by Charlie L. to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. The committee continued their review of the ARPA applications as follows. Application number 92, Iroquois County Moore. Sure reported the dollar amount approved by the county board for the Moore project this far is $160,609. A meeting was held on April 17th with Sure County Board member Doug Geiger and the building contractor to prepare the timeline of work. The field work should begin May 24th, weather permitting. The necessary paperwork is at the city of Watsika for the building permit, and there will be no cost to the county. Finance Manager Jill Johnson reviewed the items to be approved today as follows. Shell building construction, $64,500. Electrical, $20,945. Interior carpentry, $14,000. Site work and concrete, $32,000. HVAC, $19,875. Plumbing, $9,289. Preparation documents, $12,000. These items total $172,609. Johnson stated that the cost of the cooler was $15,800, bringing the total project cost to $1,888,409. The bill was received for the installation of the cooler in the amount of $3,514 and was paid from Corners Automation. If the committee chooses, the installation can also be paid from ARPA funds. It was moved by Donna Crowe and seconded by John Scher to adopt the resolution awarding $64,500 for the shell building construction of the morgue. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. It was moved by Crowe and seconded by Scher to adopt the resolution awarding $20,945 for the electrical of the morgue. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. It was moved by Crowe and seconded by Scher to adopt the resolution awarding $14,000 for the interior carpentry of the morgue. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. It was moved by Crowe and seconded by Scher to adopt the resolution awarding $32,000 for the site work and concrete of the morgue. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. It was moved by Crowe and seconded by Scher to adopt the resolution awarding $19,875 for the HVAC of the morgue. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. It was moved by Crowe and seconded by Scher to adopt the resolution awarding $9,289 for the plumbing of the morgue. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. Scher requested action be tabled for the preparation documents totaling $12,000 due to the questions regarding the accuracy of the amount. Johnson informed the committee the invoices have already been approved and paid. County Board Member Doug Geiger will look into the matter with the vendors. It was moved by Crowe and seconded by Scher to adopt the resolution awarding $12,000 for the preparation documents of the morgue. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. Administrative costs will be reviewed at a later date. There was no old business. During new business, County Board Member Scott Watts requested the amount remaining in ARPA funds and asked the committee to reconsider application number 135 for the Watsika Area Food Pantry. Watts explained their clientele has increased and their needs have changed since initially completing the application and are looking for assistance with operating costs rather than equipment. Johnson noted that the amount expended once today's items are approved total $5,075,646.08, which approximately leaves $190,000 remaining in the ARPA funds. Lastly, Crowe recommended some of the chairs in the boardroom be replaced if there are any ARPA funds remaining. There was no further business to come before the committee. It was moved by all and seconded by Crowe to adjourn at 10:48 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All which is respectfully submitted. Ask for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the ARPA committee report. Do we have a second? Are there any? Excuse me, are there any questions or comments regarding the report? None, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Scher.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Okay, next is the health committee. Ducat.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee to whom we refer to health, would beg leave to submit the following report of the matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on May 7, 2024 at 9 a.m. Members present were Ducat, Geiger, Hughes, and Whitlow. Also present, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, ICPHD, Minister Eric Cece, and IDA Executive Director Angel Crawford. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Jeb Whitlow and seconded by Steve Hughes to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. Committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Doug Geiger and seconded by Hughes to pay the claims, subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There were no public comments. Finance Manager Jill Johnson reported the registration deposit for April was $9,000, $9,900. There were 9 cases currently open with 6 dogs awaiting for placement and 3 bite reports. The animal control officers closed 32 cases in April. The closed cases consisted of 11 dogs running loose, 6 bite reports, 1 injured dog, 1 abandoned dog, 5 well checks, and 1 nuisance call. A parrot was found and has been returned to its owner. The animal control officers assisted with a cat boarding situation. The animal control officers also assisted the Watsika Police Department with an animal abuse case in Watsika. State's Attorney Jim Devine is involved in the matter. ICPHD Administrator Eric Cece distributed a monthly report of programs. Environmental Health reported 15 temporary food permits issued, 1 sewage complaint, 3 initial lead inspections, and 1 lead follow-up. The Environmental Health Department will also begin tick surveillance. Community Health reported childhood immunizations are down, 2 animal bites, and 2 COVID-19 outbreaks. Community Outreach held 4 CPR trainings. CC noted that Illinois Breast and Cervical Cancer Program will end in June. ICPHD has been a sub-grantee of the Livingston County Health Department. Posting the program will require hiring additional full-time staff. There were no vision or hearing screens in April due to the end of the school year. Senior Services has a total of 178 clients. CC informed the committee that ICPHD has vaccines for the full-time nurse, health educator, and environmental health. Lastly, CC reported the Board of Health reviewed and renewed his contract for another year. There was no old business, there was no new business, and there was no further business from the committee. It was moved by Gagner and seconded by Hughes to adjourn at 9:11 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All those respectfully submitted. Ask for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the report of the health committee. Do we have a second? Mr. Whitlow. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report of the health committee? Mr. Whitlow?
Is the vacancy for the nurse RN or LPN? RN. Say again? RN.
Oh,
This is for Mr. Stacy regarding the, breast and cervical cancer program. So that will end in June, and we were a grantee of Livingston County. Does that mean those services will no longer be available at all in the county, or are there other options?
There will be other options. I don't know what they will be. The state is required to make those services available to all residents of Illinois. And it's not feasible for us to pick up the whole program ourselves. So they will be available. I don't know who the facilitator of the program will be yet.
Why is it that we can't continue, is it because the program's ending period, that we can no longer continue with Livingston County?
Livingston, we've been a subcontract to the Livingston County Health Department, as well as Ford County has been. We've been relying on them to do a bulk of the work since they've received the main grant of it. There are additional requirements to the grant. We would have to hire 2 full-time people if we wanted to take it on ourselves. We would have to hire 2 full-time people, and it would increase workload on our nursing staff, which we're short on anyways. I spoke with other health department administrators about this. Kankakee County Health Department has had this program in years, and they know that it is available to their residents through a private facilitator. And Livingston County, they've been eating tax money just to continue this program going forward. So with all that knowledge, we were not able to continue the program.
So the state requires it, but.
The state is required to make sure that all Illinois residents can access the program. It is not a required program that ICPHD has to facilitate. It has just been a great program to do so, if that makes sense.
So the state will find some place within the county to work at that.
It may not be within the county, but the good news is that IVCCP has never been in in-person services anyways. It's all been through phone calls. So I don't know that it will be in Kent.
Well, those are both very preventable with screening, not preventable, but, cancers that can be detected early, and I would sure like to see those services will be available to our residents.
That's what I talked about this with the Board of Health, and it's regrettable that we need to let this go. But as I mentioned, other county health departments that have to host this have been eating tax money on this for years. And coming next year, there are additional requirements to the program that the state is making, which would, as I said, necessitate us to hire 2 more full-time staff and add our workload to our nursing staff we're already short of. So really the only reason why I was comfortable to let it go is because we know that the state is required to make the services available to our residents. In review, we had about 12 residents take advantage of IVCCP services last grant year. Grant year being July 1 through June 30.
Can you please keep us posted on what's transpired?
Yes, ma'am.
okay, is there any other comments or questions on the report of the health committee?
May I, Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I just want to point out a grammatical error. Where was it? There are, it's written correctly, sorry.
Okay, nothing further before the call roll.
Oh,
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Betts.
Yes.
Crowe. Yes. Duquette.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yeah.
Hughes. McGinnis. Sure.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And Zumwalt.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, next is the Tax Planning and Zoning Committee, Mr. Duquette.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, committee to confirm tax zoning with begs and leaves to submit a following report from the matter before them. The committee met at Administrative Center on May 7, 2024, at 9:30 a.m. Members present were Paul Duquette, Doug Geiger, Steve Hughes, Ted Whitlow. Also present, county board chairman John Scherf, finance manager Bill Johnson, county clerk Brandon Stuber, treasurer Kurt Albers, supervisor of assessments Peter McCammon, planning and zoning administrator Julie Feller, ICPHU administrator Eric Cece, IDA Executive Director Andrew Crawford, Robert Rice, Matt Dyerlum, and Marcus Dyerlum. I apologize if I hacked up the last name. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Joe Whitlow, and seconded by Steve Hughes to approve the agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Whitlow, and seconded by Hughes to pay the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There were no public comments. Doug Geiger discussed the agreement being worked on with Clark Dietz to assist with the county's wind, solar, battery ordinances. A representative with Clark Dietz is expected to attend the June Tax Zoning Committee meeting. Clark Dietz will be compensated $5,000 for services rendered on ongoing fees and will be determined at a later date. A representative will need to be designated for the project and will be named by the Tax Zoning Committee as the county board chairman. It was moved by Whitlow, seconded by Hughes to approve the professional services agreement with Clark Dietz Incorporated. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. The agreement will be forwarded to the state's attorney, Jim Devine, for review. The department heads gave their monthly reports. Supervisor assessments, Nina McCammon reported on the training sessions with DevNet, and her office has sketched and entered 379 parcels in the CAMA system. The CAMA is requesting to have a paid intern for the summer month to be paid from the payroll balance of not having a full-time staff for several weeks in 2024 and not having a chief deputy for the remainder of 2024. Ellen Arun, thank you, was hired for the deputy clerk position on April 23rd. 2 checks have been received per the intergovernmental agreement with Lovejoy, Milford, Prairie Green, and Stockton, totaling $3,600 in revenue. An intergovernmental agreement with Beaverville and Papineau was signed April 24th, and the county will begin collecting $650 per month. A final equalization factor of 1 was received on April 26th by the Illinois Department of Revenue. County Clerk Rita Suber reported the extension process began as soon as the equalization factor was received. Suber plans to mail extension sheets out to the taxing bodies by the end of this week. Or by the beginning of next week. The county clerk's office sent out 19 certified mailings for statements of economic interest. Suber is working on election judges for a 2-year commission. Suber will be presenting the list of election judges in July for approval to send on to the circuit court. Lastly, Suber reported the State Board of Elections, Illinois Department of Public Health, and ILEAS has worked together on an initiative to procure Narcan for the county clerks throughout the state. The shipment of Narcan was received yesterday. Suber will reach out to the health department for training on how to administer Narcan. Treasurer Kurt Albers reported the treasurer's office has a signed contract with DevNet to print the property tax bills again this year. Megan Finke was hired as a deputy clerk on May 6th. Mobile home taxes are being collected. Planning and zoning administrator Julie Feller distributed her monthly report to the committees as follows. Building permits April 2024. Agriculture 1, residential 16, wind tower 0, solar field 0, solicitor applications 4, solicitor licenses 4. Building permits issued FY 2024. Residential 48, agriculture 3, wind tower 0, solar field 0, solicitor license 20, kennel license 0, mobile license 0, campgrounds 0. Building permit inspections April 2024. Buildings 54, electrical 17, plumbing 4. Zoning Board of Appeals has a hearing scheduled at the end of the month. Feller suggested the committee review fees in an effort to offset mileage expenses for the inspectors. Matt Dyerlum and Marcus Dyerlum provided updated information on the microbrewery they would like to operate from a residential garage. The plan is to operate the nano brewery from the garage for a maximum of 3 years which will allow them to get the business off the ground and find a new location. There is no HOA or covenants at their location. The health department informed them that another septic system or holding tank would be needed. The utilities, to utilize the holding tank over 1 year, a variance would need to be requested. Lastly, the well will have to be changed to non-community. The committee shared their concerns about having a nano brewery in a residential area and will not be moving forward with the project at this time. Further discussion was held on the county building codes. Geiger stated the building code versions need to be updated. It was moved by Geiger and seconded by Hughes to update the building codes to the 2021 version for the International Building Code, National Electric Code, and International Residential Code, and maintain the plumbing code as mandated by the state. Motion carried by a voice vote. There was no old business or no new business. There was no business come before the committee. It was moved by Whitlow and seconded by Hughes to adjourn at 10:25 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, which I'll respectfully submit and ask for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the report of the tax planning and zoning commission. Is there a second? Mr. Williams. Questions and comments? Mr. Geiger.
I think there's a lot of.
Go ahead, Mr. Lyon.
Okay, so on the sentence that talks about the nano brewery and when it says the committee shared their concerns about having a nano brewery and not moving forward, so does that mean it's done? Not gonna happen?
They can still have a microbrewery and have up to 500 gallons for their own personal use, but they can't have and sell out of that garage. Reason for that, if we go ahead and we were to approve that, then you can have your plumber next door to you running out of his garage. You could have somebody from a cement company running out of their garage next to you. You might have a rock quarry company next to you. You name it, it would have to be set because this is set precedent.
But each one's a variance that requires approval by the board, right? Yeah, so you can say no to all those. It's each one is considered, you can say no, people are so afraid to say no to stuff, it's like, that's a good thing, it's a good thing. But we have the power to say no, we don't have to say yes just because we said yes. It's everything is variance approval. I hear what you're saying, it causes more to come to more than that.
It's a bad location. For its own residential.
Are they doing 500 gallons now, or are they trying to?
Mr. Geiger offered him some possible other locations.
We had multiple meetings with them last few months, and like I said, the city of Watson offered places to them, and it just.
Are there any other questions or comments on it, Mr. Geiger?
Yeah, I got about three. I like to separate out for consideration the Clark Dietz professional services agreement. For further consideration.
Okay.
Also, there's a couple of maybe edits in the notes that would help clarify a little bit.
You understand, on the car keys, the way it's listed in the minutes, there's no, we're not voting to approve anything.
I thought that happened when the
It said the agreement was gonna be forwarded to Mr. Devine for review.
The agenda has item A, motion to approve the agreement.
Professional service agreement with Clark Dietz.
Does say that.
the committee was to move this forward.
I don't have a copy of the other agreement here in my packet today, do you?
It was emailed to you in the packet, but I don't know what happened to today's.
Do you have a copy of the agreement? We can talk that some more. I'm making a motion to separate that out.
Yeah, I thought it was in the board packet.
Is there a second to your motion? I don't see a second to your motion, so I guess your motion dies. What's the next thing you want to do?
On this, says Clark East will be expected to attend the zoning meeting in June. I don't think they will be. Especially without the agreement, there won't be. Also, the Clark Steven will be compensated $5,000 for services rendered and ongoing fees. I think he's correct, $5,000 was to be paid in acceptance of the professional service agreement. So $5,000 is to the service agreement if that was accepted, not for service to determine later. Did we not have that agreement out in the electronic?
We did send it out yesterday afternoon because I had not received it in my office. No one sent it to me. So we looked for it and got it from Amanda yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the minutes, so.
It was an email that was sent at the very end. It was not part of the minutes that were sent out with the committee because we didn't have it in my office until
Well, I thought
late
it was made
yesterday.
available, it was made available during committee meeting.
It was made available during the committee meeting, but it never got to my office to disperse to the board. So I don't know where Amanda got it in the electronic format.
Because I thought that was the proper, so that isn't the proper thing to do going forward.
Well, to make sure that the clerk's office gets what's going to be presented at the board meeting is important. And so when we saw that there was this motion to approve the agreement, I sought the agreement and had Tracy email it out yesterday afternoon
So
when we got it.
in the minutes, is it okay to approve the motion to accept the agreement?
We're waiting on the county's review. So I think the best thing to do is to send it back to the.
I had a discussion with him about it. What's the desire to add an additional paragraph covering the existing agreement with.
Are we time sensitive?
There was an additional paragraph to cover the services that are needed to update the commissioning costs on the 3 wind farms and the 1 solar farm that are in existence in the county right now. We missed a note in there. I doubt very much that we have anything even in place. There were letters of credit, and I think what those agreements were facing.
It's a time sensitive thing, okay, it's what she said, I just may need it for next month. Because all, is it a time sensitive thing, or could we look at it?
We keep kicking this football down the road. I think if we ask our zoning officer over there, she'll say there's several people that want to go forward with renewable energy. Part of it hinges on we do not have any battery storage ordinances in place. And the first thing, I think, or one of the first ones is going to be a solar application that they'd like to tie in battery. It happens to be along the interstate and along the Amtrak rail lines that we're concerned by any type of derailment on having problems with the nearby battery containers. That, what I just passed out was the 5th bullet point that was going to be included in the agreement with Clark East. And that just, like John said, it has to do with asking them to help us look over the 4 renewable energy sites in Iroquois County particularly decommissioning costs. From what I could obtain with Mia's help in finding documents from Milk Rover Pilot, whatever you want to call the Ford name of that wind facility. They mentioned $10,000 in there for fees for decommissioning per turbine. And most of us don't think that $10,000 would cover the decommissioning of a single. So we need to get that revisited. And we think that with the background that Clark East has, they're the ones involved with Inca Brasa and their solar farm. They're based out of Champaign, Illinois, headquarters in the Midwest. So they have the experience and the professionalism that we think we need to help us. The other thing about the urgency, I guess back to you, Chad, is if one of the, how many solar operators, how many renewable energy people do we have?
Companies or solicitors?
Well, companies.
Companies, 16, 17.
They're 16 or 17, if any one of those would hire Clark East, then it's gonna be hard for Clark East to represent us because they represent the other side of the equation. So that's the other urgency, is to get them employed by us, so we have them. I did quite a bit of research trying to find a qualified engineering firm locally too, and they're not in every town.
Our wind solar ordinances that are in existence today has clauses in there requiring licensed professional engineer to review the application, to review the structures and so forth. It also requires them on the decommissioning. Review the decommissioning cost, and then every 3 years thereafter, increases if it's necessary, then that what the engineer puts together, and that's what we adopt, and that's what the facility owner or operator has to pay. Make provision. So right now, it's what Doug is pointing out, we don't have an engineer to handle these matters.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. My concern seems like there's a big question on what's supposed to be voted on and what was in the minutes versus what's on the agenda. That big confusion piece. I agree that we need.
I think in the minutes it made, I believe, and I don't go on my memory, but I believe in the meeting, I brought up about the need to include the why, but it was not included in the agreement that was discussed at the meeting. I brought it up at the meeting, it was agreed that we should have something in there.
So are you
So
happy?
Mr. Geiger and I got together after the meeting and put together what we thought to the suggesting to him that we should include that as well. He didn't have any issue with that.
I'll send you the whole thing once we get it up to that.
Okay.
I think that's what we're.
And there's one more area we're going to talk about to clean up, and that's on the next page under B, representatives. That can be at a later date. Sorry, that's in your board packet, but at a later date, defined representatives for the agreement will be a board member selected by the Planning and Zoning Committee and the county board chairman. We'd like to edit that to say the client representatives for this agreement will be a board member selected from the Planning and Zoning Committee and the county board chairman. We'd like to make sure that there's two individuals as a representative to the.
Where is this at again, Doug?
That'd be on page 3 of the document under client responsibilities, part B.
It's not.
I'll look around and show you. Okay, so this is the agreement You're adding the number 5 here, where it says representative, you're going selected from instead of by. Okay?
I don't like the representation.
So you're selecting from the planning and zoning committee and county. By. Okay, so I'm not really there yet. You good, good? This is where he's talking about you.
Here they
You're
are.
good? Are you good? So it's, you're adding the number 5, so that was what.
Chairman, so the chairman.
That right there. And then you change it in this sentence to say, selected from instead of by.
From the committee. No, it's one time. One time.
Yeah, it doesn't say exactly that part, but I wanted to clean it up. Doug?
Yes,
Make a motion to,
I'm sorry.
make a motion to, change it. That's what he wants me to clarify on record. What I talked about this morning, which was making sure we know that it's separated of somebody from the tax committee and somebody that's chairman, not 2 is 1, but 2.
I make a motion that we change, under section 2, part B of the representative to include the statement saying the client representatives for this agreement will be a board member selected by the planning and zoning committee from the committee and the county board chairman.
One person then or two?
That's gonna be 2 people.
Oh, see, I was misunderstanding what he was
Say
saying.
representatives.
I see it here in my paper, Carl, but I must not set the I apologize. The client representatives for the agreement will be a county board member selected by the planning and zoning committee from the committee and the county board chairman.
I think what Mr. Duquette is getting at though is to make sure that it's clearly stated that there are gonna be 2 people.
The 2 client representatives for this agreement will be a board member selected by the planning and zoning committee from the committee and the county board chairman.
It makes sense, yes.
See, this is my fear, 10 years later down the road.
The 2 client representatives for this agreement will be a board member selected from the planning and zoning committee?
Yes.
And that's what it needs to say, we don't have to have it say by and from, or it needs to say by and from.
Representatives, one will be from the planning and zoning committee, the other will be from.
And the county board chairman. Okay, that's what I wanted to make
It's
sure.
appointed by the,
A board member selected from the planning and zoning committee.
by the committee.
Approved by the board. I'm not giving it by.
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah,
I still.
it would make sense. Say it.
John Gregg wants to. Mr. Parkinson?
Go ahead. And one comment, usually the county highway is involved with the zoning, for zoning and wind because they're involved with the roads, township and county. Can the county used to be included in that review committee?
It'll always be the review committee. This is only something that can happen between committees.
For the Clark Dietz review, right?
No.
That's the agreement we're reviewing?
I'm not understanding your question.
Is this committee, these 2 people to review the Clark Dietz agreement or something else?
No, This is to work with Clark East moving forward.
To review the zoning ordinances?
Yes.
Okay.
We're working with Clark East on ordinances, we're working with Clark East on permitting processes going forward, and also looking at the existing renewable energy facilities in the county today.
They've also got some requirements here, it looks like reviewing new work for underground lines and stuff like that, what's that about?
That's part of the inspection process that's clarified or stated in our ordinances, that the lines need to be 72 inches below the line. So
Is it new construction then, or existing?
this would be, you can only inspect the new ones going forward. I assume the ones that happened before were done correctly. We accept them as being done correctly.
Usually the county highways involved because of the road crossings and road use, so that's not my question.
They are in the ordinances, it is. You're involved, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm a little confused what this committee is doing, but I'll survive, thank you.
Just the interface.
Ordinance require, both ordinances require road agreements, and so that way department comes into play. And I'm just confused on what Clark Dietz has to do with this. We're just trying to provide some technical expertise for future development.
Yeah.
Mr. Geiger wants them to help us in reviewing the existing ordinances and getting them put together in a way that flows well and understood and so forth. To get ready for whatever they come up with is gonna be approved by the county board. Okay.
For the future.
That we, in our ordinances, we require the services of a licensed engineer to review the application, what is stated, and knowing how we're once the wind or solar requirements in place, then they have to.
Yeah.
That's fine. The engineer then has to, every 3 years, update the decommissioning agreement. I think the state changed that to 5 years, but that's reasonable. Thank you.
So just to clarify, these guys gonna help us align with state standards. So what,
I think we're aligned already, but yes, there'll be some review there just to help us along the line. There's the opinion of some people that the way our ordinances are written right now, it would be better if some of the different clauses kind of mirrored one another or came in the same order so that the zoning department and where all people could understand a little easier, better what's going on.
and so they will only, if we hire them, they will only represent the county, not the solar and wind company. So, fighting for us.
Correct.
Yeah. I just think we need to go ahead and hire them because the solicitor's license fees are, what, $20,000, I think they need to do it. So, they're on the county, they should, right?
$5,000 county will be paying. Money that goes for the other stuff by the operator of the facility. They bill, the engineer bills us, like for example, updating the decommissioned, the engineer bills us. But that's not. That's that bill obviously. So the owner, he has to pay it. If he doesn't pay us, we default and we can shut it down. Maybe only out of pocket money that we have with this agreement. Well,
And the fee for Mr. Dietz, is that gonna be paid from fees already collected, the general fund, or what's the plan for funding its cost?
I think Julie will say that the fees, the monies that Julia's collected in her occupation, have been pushed into the general fund, and we're suggesting that we take the $5,000 out of the general fund.
Have those fees been transferred to the general fund, is that correct?
Any, excuse me, any building permits or zoning fees get put into the general fund. The purpose of that is to cover any costs that obviously occurred by the department, which is Department 310. So for these expenses to come out, if that's what the board members choose to do, they would come out of the general fund and the zoning department 310, and then it could be a miscellaneous or it could be a service contract expense.
Doug,
What do we need to do then?
well, you suggested a couple things we change. The way the agenda reads today and the way the minutes have been read, this agreement with Clark Dietz approved at the committee. Not listed as a separate item to be voted on, so when the motion is made to approve the report and seconded, we're approving the agreement with Clark Dietz, unless somebody wants to separate that out for want to make additions to the agreement with them, that's perfectly fine. I think that's probably something can be done and be incorporated into the minutes. I don't know if it requires a separate motion.
We made a motion to change the wording in the agreement.
You did?
Yes. Okay.
Anybody second this amendment?
Thanks. That's to do with what we talked about, who's on the representatives, the two representatives for the agreement with Clark Dietz. Then
I didn't know that required a motion. I thought that's the way it was presented at the committee and the minutes needed to be clarified.
no, that came in this morning, that changed. And we also had the change where we added the fifth bullet point, saying that the Clark Dietz will represent Iroquois County's interest in matters concerning existing renewable energy facilities, including but not limited to inspections and decommissioning estimates covered by the appropriate ordinances. The fees for these services will be determined prior to these services being rendered.
Okay, what I would suggest that we do is that you make a motion to separate out the agreement, the part about Clark Dietz, and make a motion. Once that's separated out, then you can make a motion to amend the agreement accordingly.
I'll make a motion that we separate out the paragraph concerning the Clark Dietz agreement from the minute for further consideration.
Second.
I second the motion.
Barons,
Yeah.
Spence,
Yes.
Crowe,
Yes.
Ducat.
Yep.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes. Okay, now, we separated out, now you can make a motion to do whatever you wish with the car teach agreement.
I make a motion that we insert the,
May I make a suggestion? I suggested you make a motion that we adopt the car teach agreement with the following changes, and then make your statement change.
I make a motion that we accept the Clark Deeds Professional Services Agreement with the following two changes. I'd like to add the Part 5 under the scope, which says, Clark Deeds will represent Iroquois County's interests and matters concerning existing renewable energy facilities, including but not limited to inspections and decommissioning estimates covered by the appropriate ordinances. The fees for these services will be determined prior to these services being rendered. I'd also like to amend, and I think Brianne might have a better reading of that.
Crossing my fingers, so the two client representatives for this agreement will be a board member selected by and from the Planning and Zoning Committee and the county board chairman. Is that how you want it?
Now, that covers everything for the agreement.
I hope so.
Very good. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm.
We're voting to adopt the agreement with, and including the changes as proposed by Mr. Gray.
Spence,
Yes.
Crowe,
Yes.
Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes, McGinnis,
Yep.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zimwalt,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Barron.
Okay. Anything else that needs to be brought up regarding the report itself?
Yeah, don't hate me.
Yeah.
So, I just got from Julie, just before the meeting started, I want to let you know that when we put in here to have all the building codes updated, she brought to me that I have section 3115-3 and rural shipping container information. We can't do that. Section AQ 101, the scope of work, which is, something shall be acceptable to tiny houses used as dwelling units. She also brought, not include section AQ 102. I got the definitions for it. I'd like to pass this around and look at it.
Where are you at in that on that?
I'm gonna hand this to you because this is what she just stated this morning, that is in the codes that should not include the fence.
Oh, we got to close this separately. After we approve the report, we'll get into
Go with that too. I just got this in front of me, so.
Are you gonna adopt a building code that's already written and exclude?
That was my question.
Okay, so then you can go ahead and bring the report.
I'm calling the roll on the tax and zoning report. Is everyone ready? Crowe,
Yeah.
Ducat,
Yeah.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yeah.
McGinnis,
Yeah.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yeah.
Alt, Barron, Spence.
Yes.
Okay, number 2 under tax and zoning, discussion and action on the ordinance adopting the state plumbing code.
I don't want to do this.
Talk about the plumbing code. We changed that.
Nothing on.
No. I like that.
890.
Put that ordinance.
It's the building code, right?
Is there a second?
Yes, it's a second.
Zumwalt. Any other questions or comments on adopting the ordinance? To adopt the ordinance adopting the state plumbing code. None is clerk will call the roll.
Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Crow.
Okay, number 3, discussion and action on ordinance adopting the international building code.
Which one of these is the national building code?
The 3115.
So she's asking not to include 3115-3 intermodal shipping container information.
And the R301.1.4.
Intermodal shipping containers. Reason being,
We'll have to, allow shipping container homes, in our area. And, most of them do not meet up with the required building codes. There's problems with the chemicals, involved and the stability of the roofs. And I've reached out to all of, the other zoning administrators throughout the state. The majority of other counties do not allow them either, simply by, not accepting these sections of the building code.
Real quick, so we're talking international building code, are there any other codes we have to do, something similar to?
Yes.
Do National Electric
Yes,
and residential
yes,
and international property?
yes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to send these back, numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, back to the committee for further review and to be able to provide better explanation for the county board so we can make a better decision.
Motion, second, motion, Mr. Bennett. Okay. Any questions or comments on the motion? Call the roll.
So we have Geiger. Sending ordinances back.
yes, send back.
Okay. Hughes.
Yeah.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt. Barron's.
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Excuse me, Crow. Yes. And Ducat.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Julie, for seeing that.
I'll share the tax and zoning committee.
Greatly appreciate it.
Next comes the judicial committee, Mr. Whitlow.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, committee to whom is referred judicial and public safety with big league submit the following report on matters before them. Committee met courthouse May 8, 2024, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Members present were Whitlow, Hughes, Benz, Watts, Williams. Also present, County Board Chairman John Shore, Sheriff Clint Brzee, Probation Supervisors Barb King, State Attorney Jim Devine, Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines. Meeting was called to order. Moved by Raymond Williams, second by Steve Hughes, to approve the agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. There were no public comments. Sheriff Clint Brzee presented his monthly report to the committee as follows. May 5th to May 11th, National Correctional Officers Week. Additional AED was purchased for the second floor of the courthouse from the opioid settlement fund. And AED/Narcan boxes were installed on the first and second floor of the courthouse. Boxes were built and donated by TNT Metal in Watsika. Correctional Officer Eric L. was hired for full-time corrections position and is currently working midnights. Part-time correctional officers have been added to ease the burden of overtime for the correctional staff. Wednesday, May 15th, the final day to turn in applications for the deputy testing list. The physical agility test will be Saturday, May 18th and the written exam will be Saturday, June 1st. This process is required to establish a hiring list of deputy candidates. Brzee continues to work on grant funding for projects. Continuing to work with Tip the Scale / Iroquois County Opioid Coalition on the STAR program, Sheriff's Treatment and Recovery Reentry, which is started in the jail setting upon intake. Also working with the Smart Recovery Program in the jail, with Iroquois County Mental Health, Iroquois Memorial Hospital, and Gibson Hospital. 8 inmates signed up for the Smart Recovery via Zoom and jail on May 9th. Brzee is working with Iroquois County Law Enforcement, Iroquois County Schools, Houston, St. Anne, and BBL schools on a handle care program, which notifies the school the police have come in contact with a child in a traumatic event. This will assist the schools in identifying issues which child may be having, address them before they get to the larger problems. 42 arrests, intakes in March, 31 male, 11 female, 0 juveniles. Pre-trial detention releases, January 24, February 28, March 26, April 33, 2024, 111, since 9/18/23, 180. April jail population, daily population, 19.1, 22, 17 male, 5 female. Probation Supervisor Barb King reviewed the probation court services activity report for April. State's Attorney Jim Devine reported grand jury was held last week. Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines distributed her monthly report for April to the committee for the review. A total of $41,579.77 was received in fines and fees. $5,405.57 was received from Pay Court, and $616.31 was received from iDrop. Hines also reported she was able to purchase new computers, monitors, and printers with grant funding. There was no old business, there was no new business. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Williams, seconded by Scott Watts, to pay the judicial and public safety claims subject to county board approval. The roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There was no further business to come before the committee. It was moved by Hughes and seconded by Williams to adjourn the meeting at 3:20 p.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All of which is respectfully submitted, signed by the members present, and I would move for adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the judicial committee report. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Benz. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report?
I have a comment. The sheriff took a few of his committee members over to the jail and showed us around a little bit. It's been updated a little bit, office cleaned up. The new scanner that they have is amazing. It's going to be a big factor in the safety for the COs that are working there, and I think it's a great improvement.
Say CO, you mean
Correction officers, yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to comment and say that's going to be a great.
That was very upcoming with COs and commanding officer.
Yeah.
Mr. Brzee.
I would also like to note that this is National Police Week, so if anybody wants to drop off donuts or power circles, rolls at the office, we much appreciate it.
They're outside in the package.
Okay.
Seeing no further comments, the clerk call the roll.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yep.
Sure. Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
All. Barron.
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Crowe. Yes. Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Finance Committee, Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, committee who was referred to finance IT, would beg leave to submit the following report or matters before them. Be that if you just consider on May 9th, June 4th, 9:09 a.m. Members present were Barron, All, Flowers, Geiger, and Watts. Taylor, Chad, again, for absence, Public Buildings, and Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Manager Joe Johnson, Sheriff Cliff Brzee, Deputy Doug Brenner, County Clerk Bree Stewart, Treasurer Kurt Albers, Supervisor of Assessments Ian McCann, ICPHD Administrator Eric Sacy, Myron Bundy with Compass Insurance, Susie Wilmer with Home Star Insurance, Scott Robinson with County Board, and John Crow. Meeting was called to order, moved by Bowers, second by Geiger, to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Myron Bundy with Compass Insurance reported no updates on the commercial side. Applications are in for the cyber liability policy, and Bunyan is waiting for quotes. Bunyan informed the committee of the new scam with Outlook email program. Bunyan will email Finance Manager Joe Johnson the latest cyber threat information to distribute to all staff. Susie Warner with Home Star Insurance reported the loss ratio for last month was 80%, with an average of 126%. There were 2 large claimants that are no longer on the policy. Warner hopes for this number to trend down before the renewal. The department heads gave a list of reports. They are as follows. ICPHD Administrator Eric Sacy reported the health department is on the lower end of revenue for the year. West Nile and tick surveillance will begin soon. CC is working on the high plan renewal. In July, the budget will be reviewed with the Board of Health, and their budget will also be voted on in August. Stacy requested the county submit their budget request for the health department prior to the next finance committee meeting. Supervisor of Assessments, Ian McGill, reported a final equalization of 1 was received by the Illinois Department of Revenue on April 26th. Finance Manager Joe Johnson reported he continues to work on the audit and grants. Johnson has applied to renew the annual animal control license. Lastly, Johnson is preparing to send budget worksheets to department heads. Treasurer Kurt Albers reported Megan Fink has been hired as deputy clerk in the treasurer's office. Solid waste certificate of deposit was up for renewal on May 6th. Albers transferred approximately $10,000 from the annual recycling for the annual recycling event. Remaining balance is rolled into a new CD at Iroquois Federal for 1 year at 4.74. Tiger recommended Albers looking to the new CD being offered by First Trust Savings Bank, which gives the opportunity to deposit and withdraw during the term of the CD. County Clerk Reed Super reported the extension sheets are going out to taxing bodies and are due May 20th. Super anticipated rolling to the treasurer's office before Memorial Day weekend. Super discussed CrowdStrike, the endpoint detection service with the committee. She explained her office currently pays for an endpoint detection service. The CrowdStrike is free through the state of Illinois. Super will remain Bertie McCarthy with area wide about hooking up this service. Sheriff Cliff Brzee reported this week his National Correctional Officers First Week. An additional AED was purchased for the second floor of the courthouse. AED Metal of Watsika built and donated storage boxes for the AED to Narcon. Correctional Officer Eric L. was hired for the open position. Correctional Officer Lincoln Longfellow is progressing through corrections training and will graduate June 7th. Part-time correctional officers have been added to ease the burden of overtime on full-time staff. Wednesday, May 15th is the final date to turn in applications for deputy testing list. Physical agility test will be held Saturday, May 18th. And the written exam will be Saturday, June 1st. This process is required to establish a hiring list for deputy candidates. Brzee continues to work on grant funding for projects. Starcom is still in the process of building out the radio channels. A determination will be made within the next month from the body cam manufacturer. Lastly, Enterprise Fleet Management has provided information on leasing patrol vehicles.
Zeke introduced Scott Perkinson with Enterprise Fleet Management. Mr. Perkinson provided information to the committee about leasing vehicles. Sheriff's Department current fleet size is 22 vehicles. Goals to drive down the age of the vehicle, its mileage. Goals also to add an additional 4 vehicles to the fleet to eliminate the sharing of vehicles. Enterprise Fleet Management offers flexible financing options. The committee reviewed the claims moved by Geiger, second by Bowers, to pay the claims subject to county board approval. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There was no old business. During new business, Scott Watts discussed the elected official salaries that were discussed at Policy and Procedure Committee. He questioned whether the salaries should be reviewed by the Finance Committee. Geiger requested the correct salary amount to be distributed at the board meeting. Is there no further business put before the committee? It was moved by Bowers, second by Geiger to adjourn at 10:12 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote, all which is respectfully submitted. I do press it up.
Motion on the floor to approve the Finance Committee report. Is there a second? Mr. Williams. Is there any questions or comments regarding the report? None, the clerk will call the roll, please.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Hess,
Yes.
Crowe, yes, Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes. Okay, transportation and highway, Mr. Ross.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council board, committee to refer transportation highway to submit following report on matters before them. The committee met at the Iroquois County Highway Building on May 9, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. Members present were all Trumbull, Crowe, Williams, McGillis, Wisconsin, and also present County Engineer Greg Roberts. Meeting was called to order. It's moved by Wynn and second by someone to approve agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. There was no public comment. Bids were open for Iroquois County paving 24-01-46-01-RS as follows. The claims and finance report for the month were reviewed. It was moved by Williams, second by Zumwalt, to pay the bill subject to county board approval. The roll call vote was taken, motion carried. During the new business, County Engineer Greg Perkinson presented a resolution for maintaining a drainage tile. Perkinson explained drainage tiles exist in many locations within the right of way. Administered by the highway department. The condition of the tile is extremely varied. Policy states the highway department shall repair damaged tiles located within the public right of way under its jurisdiction. If the conditions could threaten the structure and in turn all other slopes of the road, the highway department will contact or repair the responsibility for expense will be those paid from the tile. The highway department will not make repairs to broken or crushed tile. That does not threaten the structure will repair any tiles causing a scour located in the following slope of the ditch. It was moved by Zumwalt and seconded by Donna Crowe to approve the resolution for the county highway department maintaining drainage tile. Motion carried by voice vote. During the whole business, Perkinson provided an update on the hiring of the county engineer. The Policy and Procedures Committee is meeting at 10:30 a.m. today to discuss Alan Harwood's hiring and benefit package. Perkinson also provided an update on the highway department staff. John Smith has resigned, and today is his last day. Lisa Miller is retiring on her last work day, which will be May 23rd. Ferguson intends to hold an open house at the highway department for Miller's retirement. Greg Grills was hired
on May 7th for the maintenance to position. The road commissioner continues to work on the Memorial Patrol Board. Because there was no further business to come before the committee, he was moved by Stumble, second by Crowe, adjourned at 8:57 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote. Also, all of this is respectfully submitted. I move for adoption of this report.
Motion on the floor to approve the report of the Transportation and Highway Committee. Is there a second? To you, are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Sure.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Crowe. Yes. Dukenyak.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Okay, on your agenda, do you have listed the appointments for this month? We have a motion to approve them.
Notice of correction in the minutes, 26th of the month for retirement party. We should bill it out the 23rd. Right?
Yeah, there'll be a notice coming out shortly, Wednesday, the 22nd, from 1 to 3, there'll be an open house for Lisa Miller, after 35 years with the department, so that will be her last work day. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the appointments. We have a motion to approve the appointments. Mr. Williams, do we have a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Next will be the claims. Do we have a motion to approve the claims? Mr. Barron, do we have a second? Mr. Williams? Any questions or comments regarding the claims? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Sure.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know, started with her, but you voted yes. Okay, Watkins, you said yes?
Yes.
Okay, Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams, Zumwalt,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Benz,
Yes.
Crowe. Yes. Dukenyak,
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yep.
Motion carried.
Hey, is there any old business to come before the board this morning? Is there any new business to come before the board? We have a motion to adjourn. Mrs. Watts, seconded by Mrs. Crowe. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Yeah.
Adjourned.